hope you're hearing me. Okay, hopefully you're hearing me now. Welcome to another edition of the Talk with the Missus. We are just so glad and so happy to be able to come to you today. We are confident that what we'll be sharing and discussing actually with you is going to be highly impactful. So we'd like to welcome all of you who are online. We always like you to tell us where you're joining from so we know that you are online with us. I mean, we can see a few of you. We can see Sandra.
Hello, Sandra.
Gloria. Hi, Joy, Ngozanorum, Miracle, Faithful, Amikano, Emily.
God bless you all.
Bless you.
So
Thank you for being online this evening. It's going to be a really wonderful time of conversation. And we are, just trusting God that it will be impactful for everyone. So you want to give a few shout outs to people?
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for being on board. Please do remember to share the broadcast because you don't know just who would be imparted, whose life will be changed, whose situation would be transformed, who would get a word from the Lord. God can put a word in our mouth just for somebody, and it will be such a blessing to know that you were a channel for bringing that person's breakthrough along. So please do share the broadcast. Hello. I'm seeing more people join in. Hello, Hope. Hello, David. Hello, Iwan. Hello, Cecilia, Moses, Miracle. I'm Miracle, and I'm from Italy. Wow. Praise the Lord.
And people join from everywhere. Thank you for telling us where you're joining from. I can see Ami, Newcastle upon 10, Joy, from London. We can see David Akolome. David Akolome was my secondary school classmate, schoolmate. We were in the same year set. Wow. So lovely young man, lovely man. He loves God. He has a heart for God. He's based in Borno, northern Nigeria. So it's nice to have you, David. How are you? I love to your family. We can see Ewan from the USA. And you mentioned Miracle from Italy. Has a Redwood from Jamaica. Sorry, you're not got the pronunciation. My wife always corrects the pronunciation when I get them wrong.
I'm sure. You know what? It annoys me even. I don't even know. It must be quite annoying, but it's something that is like it's a trigger. It's just
I think
because I was brought up here. So
I think because you were brought up here, and also it's like you trying to mention or pronounce some Nigerian names.
Yeah, you correct me.
Yeah, I correct you on that. Yeah, so it's taken. It doesn't cause quarrel.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. I think one time I actually introduced someone in church, and I got the name totally wrong. Like so when I came down from the pulpit, you're like, babe, that's not how to say the person's name. I was like, oh, sorry. So it was like 2 sessions. So by the time I introduced the person the second time, I introduced it correctly.
Which is great. So we have Hope Ebo from Italy. Oh, brilliant. So great. We want to encourage everyone. Please share the broadcast on your Facebook page. I've already done that. Share your Facebook page. Copy the YouTube link, and you can just send it out as a WhatsApp broadcast to somebody. And I believe personally that what we want to discuss today is going to be really helpful for many lives. And I think that it will be helpful to get your friends, your family, your loved ones to join in the conversation. And I trust that God will bless them. Okay, so do the sharing, invite somebody. Let's just get as many people as possible in. So today's discussion topic is be careful who you listen to. That's a big one. Be careful who you listen to. And I think that is I think is going to be quite interesting. And that's why we think that, get as many people, because we want to hear your views, talk with the missus. It's not just us talking. It is the both of us having a conversation with you. And we all, together with you, reason through things and arrive at, solutions, arrive at principles, arrive at advice. So, it's a conversation that we have with you, and we learn from it. You learn from it as well. And I think it's just impactful. Maybe the best way to start on this topic is, how do people choose who to listen to? Generally, how do people arrive at the choice of who to listen to?
I think sometimes people know what they want to hear. So
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but it's so
true.
true. Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
You kind of that if there's a certain issue that is a strong issue and you don't want to hear a strong answer, you go to the person that will probably tell you the soft answer to pacify you, and it wasn't your fault, you didn't do bad, so you go to that person to hear what they have to say. But the person that has a strong is objective and can tell you straight, this was wrong, you've done wrong here, you've messed up, you need to go and say sorry, or you need to this is what you need to do, or they won't want to listen to that person because they don't want to hear the truth. Sometimes what the actual truth is, but you just don't want to hear it. So I think that's a determining factor. As well as that, I think people who they're comfortable with, who they have their confidence with, sometimes, which could be warped at times, because somebody, let's say for example, for lack of example, somebody that has had a rocky relationship, that things probably didn't work out well in, then you're now having a rocky time in your relationship, and you now go and ask somebody like that in that predicament, or has gone through it, but didn't come out successfully through it, then what kind of response really are you gonna get? Maybe it wasn't their fault that things didn't work out, but maybe it was. So it would be better, in my mind, to go to somebody that's probably gone through that road and come through it on the better side and successfully through it. So it's people just go to people that they want to hear something that's sweet to their ears and not the truth sometimes.
Okay, so really it depends on basically, from what you're saying, it depends on people. One, that people choose who to listen to based on what they want to hear. So somehow they know what they want to hear, and they know where to get it, or who will tell them that,
who will give them that what they want to hear.
Exactly. It's like almost like an approval. So they are drawn there, as opposed to maybe going to somebody who will tell them the truth objectively, and maybe tell them the things that they don't want to hear. So please, we want to hear from you. We would like to get your own view on this. We are saying the topic is be careful who you listen to. And the first question is, how do people arrive at who, or how do they decide on who to listen to and who not to listen to? I think we have a comment from, that's Masha from Florida. Hello, how are you?
From God bless you. Florida.
Sunny Florida.
It is raining here in the UK.
I hope it's sunny right now, though.
Yeah. Well, she's got sun there, and she's got sunglasses on.
Okay, so it's sunny, hopefully. All right, Pussy Prince said, people you look up to. So that sometimes people decide based on people they look up to, especially if you respect them and their opinions. Yeah. So we agree to some extent that you know, that people actually, and by the way, I think that was
yeah, Marsha's told us it's very sunny.
Very sunny.
Thank you, Marsha.
Thank you. You know, so you know, I think to some extent you have so you have people who make a decision on who to listen to based on what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And then you have others who make decisions on who to listen to based on, you know, someone that they respect or people that they look up to. And that kind of, to a large extent, they have a regard for. And so that kind of, to a large extent, define who they listen to. I think the reason this topic is very important is that your life can be made or marred by who you listen to. So you can have your entire life and your entire destiny, you know, made or just destroyed on the basis of who you listen to. You can suffer stagnation in an area of your life on the basis of who you listen to. And that can be a problem because, you know, I think it was this morning, I don't know if it was this morning, but definitely this week, while we were having the Anzan Prevail prayer session, 6 a.m., I was talking about the fact that sometimes there are people who, the reason they are not married today is a result of a comment by somebody.
Now you're talking.
No, and sometimes just a remark.
It's true. Just a comment like, "Oh, who? Him? He can't talk to you."
Exactly, and that's it.
That'll be it.
Yeah, and the person would not know that just that remark, just that comment, has, you know, has sat deep with you, that and has made you make a decision. To throw away somebody who maybe your destiny is tied to, or you potentially could have married. So I think that we all have to come to a point where we actually, you know, we actually just ask ourselves, or maybe make a decision on who are the people in my life that I should be listening to. I think you need to kind of work that out.
So is it like a filter? It's a filter, you know, like when you're doing a search engine, sometimes you have filters. Because everyone has an opinion, believe it or not. And some people are very happy and willing to tell you their opinion and their thoughts on certain things in your life that does not concern them but concerns you. So should we then have a filter of, you know what, even though I get these comments, I get these remarks, I get these opinions from such and such people, I'm not going to now take that because, you know, I already kind of know that maybe they don't have full knowledge of things, or they don't have my best interest really at heart, or things like that. I don't know. So would some sort of filter, but you can't have a blanket filter because sometimes...
No, it's not a blanket filter, but I think that there should be some criteria in making those decisions. Let's see, you know, this is Diero If Samuel said, who you listen to has a huge way of influencing your power of decision making. And it's true. It's true, whether you like it or not. That is just a simple truth. There are people. Okay, let's
just remembering something.
Okay, let's take it deeper. For example, because this is Talk with the Missus, and we like to talk about marital issues, relationship issues. When it comes to relationship, let's take for instance now the people you want to decide who to marry, or whether to accept, or as a lady, whether to accept the proposal of a guy or not. Yes, you should pray and seek the face of God, but we have to agree that there are many people who don't particularly hear from God in making the decisions of who to marry. Of a yes or no. So let's say you have to make this decision and you're speaking to people. Who should you be listening to their counsel? Who should you be listening to?
I think if it's me personally, I think it's somebody that I admire.
Okay.
Somebody that, like I said, I know has my best interest at heart.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't be people that are on the same. It would be someone more mature.
Okay.
Somebody that's gone that road before. Yeah. So it probably wouldn't be my peers.
So it's good that you're saying that.
Yeah.
Because most people, I mean, as a pastor, I counsel with people and I have conversations with people, and you find that most people make these decisions or form opinions based on their friends. And when I say their friends now, I mean people who are probably on the same, on the same journey. They've not walked the road. So when you have, let's say, their parent saying to them, look, my daughter, this is the way to go. What I see in this person, you may not see now. Or you have a godly person, not godly as in, because sometimes we're like, hey, is that person? So they will just put it on. They say, oh yeah, but my friend is godly. No, I'm talking of him. You've used the term someone who has walked that road. Yeah. But why? But you would find, and it's not just today. It happened in the Bible days. Was it Jeroboam also? What's Jeroboam, isn't it? Who became king, and then the people came to him to say, look, this is our request, that you treat us better than your father treated us, and we will be loyal to you forever. The Bible said, it's okay, give me some days and come back. He asked the elders. The elders advised him, listen to what the people are telling you, and you will have their loyalty forever. Then he went to his peers, and they said, no, you have to show to them that you are a tough king, that your little finger will be heavier than your father's waist. The waist, but bigger and heavier. And that's exactly what he did. What happened? He lost all the people. And it was a thing of, the Bible says that that was where you have the saying, to your tent, O Israel. That was how 11 tribes of Israel were separated from the rulership, of the kingship, that the royal lineage of David. So listening to, because there are people whose lives,
because if Jeroboam now said to himself, okay, these elders have been the ones that have been advising my father all these years. I think this is Solomon's son we're talking about.
Yes.
Solomon had peace throughout all his reign. The God clearly says in the Bible that Solomon had peace through all his reign. Nobody troubled Solomon. People were coming from different nations to come and celebrate Solomon. He had peace. So his grandfather David had wars upon wars upon wars. This your father now has peace. The people that advised your father, and I think some of them even advised the grandfather, they are the ones that you went to seek first. Okay, these people said this thing. What should I do? They told you, oh, I think what they've asked for is fine. Do it. It will be fine. If you do that, you'll have their loyalty and all the rest of it. But then he now goes to his boys. His boys that know what.
Exactly. No, but that's a lot of people do. A lot of people make career decisions from friends, make destiny decisions, make marriage decisions, and ignore the advice and counsel of wise people, of people who have gone ahead of them, that God has placed in their life. and then they become grounded. And like you said, listen to his voice. And those, will they be there for you?
They won't. They don't even know what to do. So let's say all those 11 tribes of Israel now came to attack King Jeroboam. What would their advice be then? You know, they wouldn't know what to do. What's the strategy? What's your exit route?
Absolutely.
What's the solution? You're listening to people that don't even have a proper solution, or they don't have real advice in the first place. Then if and when things go bad, they don't even have a solution. Meanwhile, you're listening to them.
Apart from, solution, that's probably even going far. No, it's true, because like you're saying, they don't have a solution, which is true. But some of them, they will not even be there for you. Exactly. You have to think, you have to think to yourself that this move I'm about to make, if things go wrong, who are the people that will be there for me? Even if I ignore their advice now, if things fall apart, who are the people who will be there for me? That's one. Two, this is my own reasoning of choosing who to listen to. One, who are those who will be there for me come rain or shine? If I am on the street now and I'm said to have a mental health problem, or I've gone mad and I'm eating, God forbid, I'm eating. No, but I'm just giving.
You're giving an example. It will not happen in Jesus' name.
Amen. Who are the people who will still come and cover me and see me as their own, and not throw you away or expose when your friends will be acting like they don't even know you, looking the other way, walking past the street like, you know, that's so person, but that to see me, I don't know what's happened to you. So you have to understand, who are those people? Your family, your family, your parents, your mother, your father. And then you have to also ask yourself, who are the people I can go to pray for me? Who can actually pray for me if things go wrong in my life? Who are the people whose prayers I can rely on? And they're really praying. And they are those I will run to. For me, those are the two sets of people whose voices should be more important to you than, oh, it's my bestie, it's my bestie. Bestie what?
BFF.
Okay, that's BFF.
Yeah. Best friend forever.
Best friend forever. Wait until something happens. Exactly. Exactly. So people need to be careful. And I think people need to really just ask themselves, you know, who are the people that I have chosen that I will be listening to? I want to let's read some comments. Okay. This is Faith Agboms from Italy, as Minister Faith. She said, listen to the people who you know. They are more than you. Example, maybe a pastor or your parents, which is about what I. People who you know, their wisdom, who is more than you, like Moses, I believe it was father-in-law.
Is it Jethro or something?
Yes, Jethro. So people whose wisdom is more than yours. I think is Adania said, we listen to those who have excelled in certain area of life, but ultimately we submit all counsels to the Holy Spirit, I believe. HS. Write it in full. Let's not abbreviate it. To the Holy Spirit, and his final verdict is indeed final. So I think that's okay. So I want to take this discussion further. I want to ask you a question. The question, I think I alluded to it this morning. The question is it wrong? It's the part of this discussion of who to listen to. Is it wrong to accept a marital proposal of a guy who once proposed to your friend and your friend declined? So, you know, this lady now, a guy once proposed to your friend, maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. You know,
what if it was a week ago?
a serious guy can propose to your friend last week and come and propose to you this week. No, that's not realistic.
Okay, it's true. Okay,
that's not realistic.
Okay, it's true.
But he proposed to your friend, and your friend declined.
Yes.
Yeah. And then after a while, maybe he's searching and all of that, and he got drawn to you and came to propose to you. Is it wrong to accept the marital proposal?
Well, I think it's wrong not to entertain it, at least. Okay. I think it's wrong not to pray about it and to just
please people send us your comments because we want to hear from you as well.
And to totally dismiss it. I think it's not wise to do that because you don't know if that person is actually the one that's meant for you. So you can't just brush him aside because he spoke to your friend. I mean, he spoke to your friend said no. So I personally think, well, what's the issue then? But I know some girls would be like, oh no, can't do that. That's breaking the girl code. That's breaking the girl. I mean, what is this girl codes? Yeah. What anyone that is against you or that doesn't do something, then it's like the blind leading the blind. You're just following somebody blindly without a real personal opinion. It's as if like your brain has just gone, blank for whatever issues that arise concerning a certain person. It shouldn't be like that. You're your own person and you have your own destiny to fulfill. So I think you should at least pray about it. I'm not saying you should say yes, I'm not saying you should say no, but you should at least pray about it, because what if God's hand is in it? What if this is God's will for your life? What if that person is the perfect fit for you? So for you to just say no blindly because he spoke to your friend a while ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, some time ago, then you're just saying no because he spoke to your friend. But he spoke to your friend and it was no. How many people have you wished spoke to you and you or wish didn't speak to you, or you've even said no to? That doesn't mean that their life should just be stagnant and stand still because a no was given. You should be able to move on and
I think
allow the person to.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I would take it even further. Because I have many years ago.
Yeah.
When I was still let me not mention one, but many years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to keep it a bit anonymous, but this is a true life scenario.
Okay. For you personally?
No, not for me. For some,
okay.
Yeah, that I handled.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not some. Yeah, it's not something that somebody,
experience.
Not a personal experience, not something that somebody told me.
Okay.
Something that I know of. Yeah. So a young man that I know spoke to a lady, approached a lady, and the lady declined.
Okay.
It was serious, not approached like they've known each other. So these were people within the same community, if you like. Community could be within the same church community and all. So they've known
in the same circle.
Yeah, in the same circle of friends. Yeah. So he spoke to this lady, and the lady said no. I mean, brother is still going to marry, isn't he?
Yeah, he can't now.
Exactly,
no,
because said no, then he won't marry again. So he went on and started praying, and seeking God. Well, this lady that I thought is the person you were leading me to, she has said no. But I'm praying, what is your will for me? And then the direction for him was now another lady who is, if you like, the best friend of this first lady. So he went and spoke to her, but she refused.
Okay, the second lady.
The second lady,
friend.
So the friend.
The BFF.
Yes, refused. Okay, so when she declined, so I asked him why, because I was aware of the whole thing from the start. In fact, when he spoke to the first one, I was aware he was going to speak to that one. So what is the reason this one gave you now? Well, he didn't really give any reason, just that, oh, you have spoken to my friend before. I said, that is not a reason. So I told him that I will go and have a conversation with her. Yeah, because I was their pastor. So I had a conversation with her, and I asked her, the simple question I asked was that, if this guy had not spoken to your friend before, and he came to you, would you have accepted? She said yes. So because he spoke to your friend, if he had not spoken to you, you would have accepted, say yes. So that's your friend. You don't think your friend will marry. You don't think this brother will marry. You admire him, you are drawn to him, but like you said, girl code. Girl code. Do you know where this your friend will be tomorrow? Do you know where destiny will carry out to? Are you going to now throw away your own destiny for girl code? I don't know who created the code. Who created? No, I need to know. Is it a God code? Because sometimes we just follow certain things.
Blindly.
Blindly. Yes, we just follow certain things blindly. Oh, it's a girl code. I mean, he's spoken to my friend before. We're not coming to speak. My dear, the person who you are going to eventually marry, do you know how many people you have spoken to? Is it because they were not your friends? The person you are going to eventually marry, not even just spoken to. Do you know how many people he has dated? Do you know how many people, if he's not a believer, some believers too don't even know they are in church. Do you know how many people he has slept with? No, it's true. Yes, some people they are in church now, but they are sleeping around. Do you know? Not just spoke. This one, you are saying no because he spoke to your friend before, but you know deep in you, deep down inside of you would have said yes. The only reason we are saying no is because he has spoken to your friend before. Is that not even pride? What kind of girl code is that? Now, the person you are going to eventually settle with, you don't know how many people he has spoken to before. You don't know even how many people he has slept with before, not even just speaking now. So I think people need to, this is my personal opinion. I mean, people should, I see a lot of people are firing things, send them in. I want to read your opinion. But I think people need to be wise in those things, because some people are stagnated in their life and in their, oh, because he spoke to my friend. I mean, sit down and ask yourself, one, like you said, pray. Is it the will of God for me? If the answer is yes, or you ask yourself, if you have not spoken to my friend before, and I was the first in this circle of this thing I came and spoke to, would I have said yes? If the answer is yes, then my dear, your friend have her destiny. You have your own destiny. You were not born the same. Even if twins that are born from the same womb, the destinies are different. Fingerprints are different. So I don't know who invented that girl code, but me, Moses Omoviye, does not agree with that kind of thing. Because this one is talking about family. If he spoke to your sister, even at that, because your sister will still marry. You will still marry. What you have to ask yourself is this the will of God for me? If this person had not spoken to my sister, and I was the first he spoke to, would I have said yes? I think that is the
okay, that's the best.
Yes, that is the question you should ask yourself. Because
that's more honest. That's you being more honest.
Yeah, that's you being more honest. What about speaking to that your friend or speaking to that your sister? Let's say it's a mistake. No, let's say him speaking to your friend. Who has not made mistake before? Have you not had situations even with you where you thought you heard God, even if it's a Christian? Have you not had a situation where you thought you heard God about a matter, only to now go about that matter and discover that actually you didn't hear God.
It was my own
Exactly. And then you make, so why are you going to now jeopardize? You should even be glad. If it's the will of God for you, I'm not saying that you should just, if it's the will of God for you, you should be glad that, you know, this person is able to retrace their step. It takes a lot. Also, you should understand, as a lady, it takes a lot of guts and humility in the side of a guy who has spoken to maybe your friend or your sister to now want to come and speak to you because he knows what is coming up against. So I think people should be practical. Me, I like to be practical. I don't all those theories. All right, let's read some comments here. Pussy Print is saying, but don't you need to have struck a relationship first before he proposes? Of course. I mean, you are all in maybe a circle
of friends.
So you all know each other. Chitru is saying, I agree with Sister Chioma. Pray about before action takes place. What is God saying in this season for you? Your friend may not have been the actual person. Maybe that's why she said no. Exactly. Maybe that's why she said no.
He can't marry everyone.
He can marry everyone. And maybe God made your friend to say no so that you don't miss out on your husband. So girl code can be anti-God. God bless you, Chitro, for that contribution. Idiero Samuel said, I think, maybe you read this one.
Okay, he said, I think we should not have fixed people. Hold on.
We should not have fixed people. You know, we're saying
fixed people. I think we should not have fixed people we listen to, but we can choose people to listen to in different situations, especially those who have real experience to give quality solutions. I think so. You know, it's a thing of, you know, the person you listen to really should be somebody that has walked that road, or somebody that you admire the results that they got. You know, if you want the result that somebody has got, you're kind of wanting to know, what did you do to get that result, so that you can also replicate as best as possible if the opportunity avails itself. But to now just, you know, go against, like the Jeroboam example, go against people with experience and go with novices, it doesn't make any sense. In the same way that if, let's say, I have maybe 2 potential suitors or so in my life, and my mom or something is aware of it, and then I'm going with the guy that's the happening guy. He's, you know, he's always on point with dressing, and, you know, he's trendy and he's doing it. He's got a car, he's this, that, and the other. But then he doesn't probably have like a proper career. He's just like roadman, you know, like someone that's on the road. Then I'm now, instead of, I'm going with him instead of going with somebody that's still studying, or just started in his career, or is, you know, grafting, working towards something. He's at the early grassroots levels of where he wants to go in life. So I'm saying, oh no, that guy's too serious. I want somebody that's more exciting. Oh, he's too boring. I want to, you know, if my mum at the time was alive to see such, I know that she'll say, look, my dear, it's not about the person that's happening, the happening guy, the trendy guy, the one that's the life and soul of a party. That person will not be serious in 5, 10 years, 15, 20 years. He will not have a serious outlook in life. He would always want to be with what's happening now. Whereas the person that is got their head down on the ground and is grafting and is visionary. He's somebody that he's starting a plan from now, and he's seeing where he wants to be in 10 years time, and he's working out that plan week upon week, month upon month, year upon year. That is the person that you should be going for. But some girls, they're just hype. They want a hype man, you know, and then by the time you get into that hype relationship, somebody that you can go out with, it's not. It's you'll be disappointed. You'll be shocked and disappointed. Firstly, that hype person, you know, they will not. Remember, you're, as a woman, you're under the leadership of a man. So if the man is not leading you somewhere pleasant, or leading you somewhere that you want to go, you now just naturally start getting angry, and they'll be like lockerheads because you're seeing he's not leading me anywhere. I want to lead. And he's like, why are you trying to lead? I'm the leader. So everyone is now, it's like a ship. Everyone is pulling the tug. Who's going to control this ship? And before you know, it's spiraling out of control and crash. So it's a thing of going with the right person in the first place. It literally is. How do you see this person in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years time? Are they disciplined, self-disciplined? Do they have a focus? Do they have understanding of what makes life? You're going with people that your friends are like, oh yeah, he's doing it. Yeah, he's doing it. What, 5 years, 10 years time, will he still be doing it?
Exactly.
5 years, 10 years time, well, those friends will probably be settled down with responsible people, and they left you with the irresponsible one from their advice.
Doing it. The one that's doing it. It's true. No, it's true.
Yeah.
I think Gosinaram said, my choice may not be my friend's choice. I feel every girl has the right to make her own choice, unless she made comments that made the friend to reject the man. So again, those comments should not influence you. You should be able to ask yourself, is this the right person for me? Regardless of who he has spoken to before and who he has not spoken to. Is this the right person for me? Is this the person God has for me? And your choice, like said, your choice may not be your friend's choice. So don't use.
Doesn't mean it's a wrong choice.
It doesn't mean it's a wrong choice. Exactly. It doesn't mean it's a wrong choice. It does not mean it's a wrong choice. So don't use, because your friend turned down somebody, don't use that as the yardstick for you not turning down that same person. If you feel that this is the kind of person I am looking for, this is somebody I would have accepted. Otherwise, you would just be there, and you're not going to marry your friend. You're not going to marry your friend. That friend is going to marry one day and settle.
You may even drift with friends.
Exactly.
Different countries, different careers,
different
cities.
Yes.
You may just even drift. Your friendship may not even last forever.
Exactly. Yeah, because we are friends. We think, oh, this friendship is forever. You don't know. You don't know. So I think people have to be very wise. I think there's quite a lot of comments on it, but our time is ticking. I have one more question I want to kind of look at. I said, okay, I think it ties in as well. So when making an important decision, whose advice should you take? Friends, people that pray for you, family, or who? Whose advice should you take when you are making an important decision? Because, within the last couple of days, within the last 2 days, I've had some very, what I would only describe as heart-wrenching situations. Just yesterday, when I came back from liberation service in church, we had this thing on TV, and a young man was, it was a show. They had a number of people on it, and the young man was sharing how, I think he sounds like he's based in America now, but he's originally a Nigerian, and he was sharing how that when he was growing up as a young man and was ready to marry, there was this girl, I think he was living in their village. There was this girl in the village he was interested in. I think she was, according to him, she was even his girlfriend. I don't know if she was, but she was interested in. But he went and spoke to this girl. The girl turned him down
because she wanted to go for more. There was another person.
And then maybe she has the voice of friends. That guy is better than this. Long story short, because of time, now he is very well placed, doing great, and all of that. He's married, he has his own family, and he says every time he goes back home and goes to the village. He sees this girl and he feels sorry for her. Sees this girl, yeah, in the village.
She didn't marry that other man.
No. Yeah. Hawking. I don't know if people know what it means by hawking. You know, when you like
people that sell things on the roadside.
Sell things on the roadside.
Their shop, if you like, is on their head.
On their head. Yeah, like a tray on their head. Yeah. That's like their shop. Yeah. Selling on the roadside and walking. That's what she's doing with 3 small children that she's dragging around. Yeah. So that's one. Then I had another one. A young man. This one is a situation where a young man came to Europe. Educated young man. You know, he was in Europe, saw this girl, wanted her in his career. He's in the I mentioned the field. Yeah. Yeah, he's highly placed. Yeah. So, but he's in the medical field. Yeah, he's in the medical field, and he was just at the beginning of entering. Was speaking to this girl, but the girl, you know, she was her friends. That guy, no, it's not your level. It's not your level. Not your level. Not your level. And why she doesn't? No, this one she doesn't even have her papers. Oh, okay. Yeah, you remember the? Oh, okay. I don't know what. No, he was in the medical field as well. Yeah, doesn't even have her papers. Yeah. Now, cut the long story short. This, if godly people, mature people saying, accept this guy. Yeah. She, no, friends, no, that. How dare he talk to you? Yeah. Okay. Long story short, today as we speak, she's a Nigerian. She's been deported. She has been deported to Nigeria for some years now. Yeah. This guy that she went to Nigeria to marry another lady who will accept him, brought the lady to be with him in Europe. He's very highly placed now. His wife that is married does not have to work because of his position. Whereas the one who listened to friends, she's somewhere, I don't know, maybe in a village or in one city. She will not pick their call if they exactly. The embarrassment of where she exactly. Is do you understand? Yeah. So right now, you then begin to ask yourself, you know.
Well, I mean, like, okay, in answering your question, like, I've seen some comments, like people will listen to elders and so forth. I think as well as, even though the person will be classified as an elder, because what I was saying, you know, I was saying, oh, I remember something. What that thing was that before I was, so when we were courting, and so before I was married, but we were courting, I remember somebody sitting me down and having a discussion with me and trying to advise me as to how to be a good wife to my husband. So they're saying, look, let me tell you, these men, you have to show them that you matter as well. If there's a situation that you want to happen in a certain way, you have to push and push and push and push and push and push and push until you get your way. That's the only way that you can deal with these men. I think to myself, which kind of elder person? So it's
that
not
when you marry your husband, you marry me now, you would not be pushing me, fighting me until you get your way. Oh Jesus.
So that automatically, as I heard the advice, it came from an elder person, somebody that has been married, somebody that has children. The thing is that her husband died early on. I don't know if it's because of such, you know, but it's, for me, that's not the kind of advice. I automatically knew that such an advice will not help my my marriage, and I will not enjoy my marriage if I behave like that. So as much as the person is an elder person, you still have to sift what that advice is to know whether it's something that would be helpful and beneficial to you.
Yeah, I think this is my formula. This is personally my formula. My formula is, I ask myself, this decision I want to make, if it falls apart and backfires and damages me, who are the stakeholders in my life that will stick with me come rain or shine? That is the first question I ask myself. This is Pastor Moses, my personal formula. Second question I ask myself is, if this thing backfires and messes me up, who are the people I will go to for prayers? Who would really pray for me? Not the one that just say I'm praying for you, but that will genuinely be praying for me. Those two sets of people, their opinion mean more to me. Once I can answer that question, their opinion and their voice will mean more to me than anybody's opinion and voice. Anybody's opinion, anybody's voice, their opinion will mean way more to me. Why? Because as far as I'm concerned, they are the stakeholders in my life as it relates to those decisions. So I'm not just going to be making that, the person I should listen to in making this important decision sounds good. But it's my friend. I mean, we've been friends from primary school. Will he or she, how far will they carry me? Or if, God forbid, you listen, if you end up in prison, would they be there?
Would they be those that will be talking ill?
Or would they be the ones that say,
I knew it.
Can you imagine this? Would they be there? So you have to ask yourself. So for me, that's what, and if anybody wants my recommendation, that's what I will recommend to you, that you have to think in that respect. Who is those two set of people? So if I want to make a decision, this is the lady I want to marry. And I believe this is the person that God wants me to marry. And then all hell breaks loose. People are then fighting. People are doing this, doing that. No. It's not a good girl. It's this is that. And the stakeholders, those who I know are spiritual, that hear from God, those who I know will pray for me. If for any reason the marriage is bad, these are the people who will pray. These are the people who will counsel. Those that if for any reason I am thrown out, God forbid, out of the house, they are the ones that will accommodate me, not for one day, because a friend can keep you for 1 week before they start getting tired that you have. Yes.
How long are you going to stay here for?
Exactly. But
are you going to bring food?
You're going to start contributing and all of that. Yes. So when I ask myself those questions, those are the people whose advice you should listen to. That's for me. Because these are stakeholders. These are those who, whatever they're advising you, they are putting everything into consideration. So they are telling you, this is the right man. This is the right woman. And you are confused. You don't know where to go. Those are people, not people who are just making remarks. Let's go for a meal, and then you go for a meal and all of that. Do you know how many people whose lives we've had people who we know who did not go for right counsel and their life has stagnated. At the same time, this couple, you remember this? Maybe you talk about it. That came to us some years ago.
So a young couple, they were quite young, like early 20s, and they found each other, and they wanted, the girl wasn't sure whether she's actually been found or a guy is just approaching her prematurely. So she was now like, okay, it's an important decision that she needs to make. So instead of listening to her friends, she came and spoke to ourselves and some other more elderly people. I'm not old, but more than her at the time, walked that road and everything. So she wanted advice, you know, like what should I do? So at first I was like, look, you know, marriage is a very important thing. They need to pray about it, no matter how the person looks like or what, you know, the position that they're in now. Forget all of that. That's not important. That's not relevant. This is a destiny move. So you need to pray about it. So she prayed about it and discovered that actually it was the will of God for her life. So they did now marry. And like I said, they were young when they married, early 20s. So when they married, they now moved in with the parents, his parents, his mum. So they're married couple, young married couple. And the first, I think it was about 5 years or so of their married life, they lived with her mother-in-law. She lived with her mother-in-law, her husband, in the house. And some people,
I know with friends, so they say,
how can you marry someone and you just,
who's going to take you to go and live with his mother?
Oh, I wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't want that.
Yes. I think at the time he wasn't driving when he proposed. No, he's not even driving. He's not even doing this. He's not even, you can just imagine all the things that the friends are going to say. Yeah. You know, he's not even doing this. He's not even doing that. He's not even doing this. He's not even doing that. Anyway, fast forward. They're now from that, you know, wisdom of saving and being, you know, living with the mother-in-law who she treated very well, and the mother-in-law treated her very well. And they've now bought their own property. They now live in their own house. They're now doing very well in their career, you know, so they're established, you know. And if it could have gone definitely a different way, if what was more important to her was counsel of friends who would be saying, oh, you can't marry him, what's he gonna do? What if you have a baby? What are you guys gonna be, you know, like I know of someone else that I was just remembering that now. I know of someone else that he's very into fitness, so he was like using a push bike. So he now spoke to a lady. And then her friends are like, oh, how could you marry him? What is he going to be? What if you have a baby? Is he going to have the baby on the push bike? Or all three of you are going to be pedaling on the push bike? Oh, no, you can't marry him. Meanwhile, he just likes, you know, to be healthy. He's got a car and everything now. He's established, 2 children, got a lovely property. He's very advanced in his career. You know, he's an architect by career, so he's very well placed. You know, but if people just listen to the wrong advice and the wrong people, and you can literally miss your destiny because of somebody else's advice.
It's true. And on the voice of God, I think you should also ask yourself, you know, if you can't hear God for yourself, which you should train yourself to hear God. But if you can't hear God for yourself, you should ask yourself, who are the people in my life that I can trust that God will speak to me through them? I think that is important. Who are those people that God can speak to me through? Who are the people that God can speak to me through? Because ultimately, man's advice is still a human advice. God's advice, God's counsel, God's word is the ultimate. And I think if people, you know, are wise that way, you don't want to have made mistake before you react, because you've lost time. You were telling me of a show you saw with this couple that were renting a place in Canary
Wharf, enjoying life. They were always out and about, traveling, restaurants, eating out. They said the penny now dropped for them when all their friends were now buying properties and they were still renting and had nothing in their savings. So it dawned on them that no, we need to do this a lot differently.
doing it the wrong way.
Yeah, we're doing this the wrong way. We're not going to advance in life like this. And that I think at that time they were like 20s. So we're not going to achieve much.
Anything,
you know,
just going restaurants and going holidays,
spending
and
so much money.
Clothes.
Yeah, buying clothes. Yeah, literally, I think it was a property show. If anyone knows, kind of like properties, but they needed 2 bedrooms. 1 bedroom was, the man said that he needs a bedroom for his wardrobe. to put all his clothes. The person that was helping them find the property is like, look, that's basically, you're saying you're gonna spend £70,000 for 1 room just for clothes, because they wanted a 2 bedroom. So the cost of that. So anyway, cut a long story short, what they now decided to do was to leave their rented property, move into 1 room with their parents, one of their parents. So 2 of them as a couple moved in with the girl's parents in their house, because there was a spare room, but it was used by her sister, who had traveled for a year for studies. So the sister was going to come back within like 6 weeks or what have you. So they had a deadline.
6 months.
No, 6 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they had a deadline to find a property and buy, but they lived there for a year.
Okay,
yeah. So within that year, they said that they saved a lot, because they cut out all the eating out, they cut out traveling, they cut out going out, and everything that they used to spend money on, they just cut it out. And they'll go on picnics and just like bring whatever food is in the house and eat, if they wanted to go out, or if they had wanted a time alone or what have you. So that is what they done. So in that year, they were able to save £40,000.
Wow, amazing.
1 year, 2 of them, they were able to save £40,000. So the question now is, if they had been saving all that time
for 3 years,
or so,
they will have 120,000.
They'll have a lot more than the deposit needed. Yeah. They'll have a small mortgage to pay. So people are just.
I think we have to ask ourselves, what do you want? Because we need to start wrapping up. What do you want from life?
Yeah.
What do you want from life? And who are the people that God has put around you that can actually give you counsel? Yeah. It may not be the things you want to hear, but it's the things that will take you to where God wants to take you to. And I think that once you can have that settled, then you're ready. You're ready. So I think that's really the important factors. When it comes to, 1, the most important voice is the voice of God. 2 is, don't just listen to. There are people who even make serious decisions, important decisions about their life based on social media opinion. Yeah.
What's trending?
Exactly. What's trending. And then you're making decisions, on how to spend your money based on what is trending on social media, not based on your life's vision. You are making decisions on who to marry based on what is trending on social media. The in thing now, the in guys, those who have facial hair. Facial hair you can grow facial hair. If I want to grow facial hair now, so okay, what are we? We are in August. Is it August? It's okay. From January, I will be carrying facial. If I leave it, it will grow. You just go to salon, they will cut it. It can be. Do you understand? So you can't make important decision.
And you can take it off.
And you can take it off. I can't
wait.
If
I married you for the facial hair, and I will cut one day and it's off.
And it's off. So I went to the barber, so I even carried my clipper and took it off. So you can't make important decision based on people whose comments, remarks, and that, like that one you were saying. So with 3 of you, when you have a baby on the push bike, that's silly.
That was true life, bro. I remember.
You can't make important decisions based on people who their counsel, their advice, or their opinion, or maybe just a remark. Maybe they're not counseling you. Is that you have to, 1, Seek God's voice. If you can't hear his voice for yourself, go to people who can hear his voice.
Yeah, and I think as well, we have a responsibility for those that are telling us that what's going on, or telling us something important to them.
Yeah.
To not just brush aside whatever they're saying, or not make comical remarks about what they're saying.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how deep it will go into that person that is receiving it, on the receiving end will take it. So I think we all owe it to be able to take things that we hear seriously, and not just laugh it off.
It's true.
Because you don't know.
We should be careful what kind of remarks we make.
Response is important.
Our response, the remarks we make when people say things around us, even if they are not telling us, when they say things around us that affect their life, for decisions they want to make, we have to be very mindful the remarks we make, because it may just influence the decisions that they make. Now, let me read what Rolando Castillo said. Sometimes one has to learn to listen to the advice of man, and sometimes one has to learn to listen to the voice of God in a person's life, which is true. It's such a thin line. Great discernment is needed. Because the voice of God is the ultimate voice that you should listen to. And I believe that if we are given to that, then it will be of a great blessing. I think Sandra said, says someone who has walked with you the journey and has been praying with and for you. So somebody who has been walking with you on that journey and has been praying with you also, or for you on that particular thing. Their voice is because that this is somebody who
Bible says in a multitude of counselors there's safety. So just listening probably to one person is Bible's indirectly telling us it's not safe. So, but obviously you would, acknowledge the Lord in all your ways, and He will direct your steps. So you need to give it to God so that He will be able to direct you. But there are people that God has put around you that will give you safety in their counsel. So it has to be a balance.
Yeah, I think we have to bring the discussion. It's always interesting when we get into the discussions, that we don't want it to stop, but we have to wrap up tonight. So I'm going to let you give, some, final words, and then I will give some quick announcements, and then we'll wrap up for this evening. I want to appreciate everyone who has joined in.
So thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you for everyone that shared. Thank you for everyone that's put a comment. Thank you for everyone that's just watched, sat down and just like, okay, what they're saying.
There's a lot of people that watch with them.
So we are really, really very grateful. And thank you for your time and spending your lovely evening with us. I believe and trust God that it has been impactful. And from now henceforth, we will be so careful and mindful of the things that we allow to penetrate into our decision making. At the end of everything, the decision that we make is still ours to make. It's still a choice. There's always a choice in everything. Whether, even when God in Deuteronomy 30 is saying, today before you, I put before you blessings and curses, this one and that one, this one and that one. But I ask for you to choose blessing. So there's different things ahead of you, but He still asks you to choose. So the choice is yours. So making a choice for whoever you're listening to is still your choice. So when you do choose to listen to someone, please do be mindful. Think way ahead of, with this decision that I'm going to make, how is it going to affect me? Pray about it. Don't just dismiss things, or dismiss especially elders and people that have your best interest at heart, people that will stand in prayer with you, people that if things do go pear-shaped, they will be there to pick you up and to help you. I think I was saying to my husband earlier today that I remember there was because before I gave my life to Christ, I was obviously in the world, because before you give your life to Christ, you usually live in the world. So when I was in the world and stuff, there was my university days, myself and one girl, we were like really quite close, especially in the third year. She already had like her destiny all set, because her family, I mean, like family generations, great grandfather, grandfather, father, they all had like doesn't even live in this nation. They had a barrister firm, so they were set. Yeah. So whether she fail or she'd pass, or whatever grade she get, it doesn't matter. She's set. She knows where she's going. She knows where she's gonna work. Job is guaranteed for her. Meanwhile, me, little old me, wanting to enjoy myself and what have you. We used to go out all the time. I was saying to my husband, there was one like terrible week. We were not terrible. Well, it's terrible now. We were going out every single night. This is third year university, studying law, a law degree, a law student. So they're going out every single night. And we were tight, we were close. So anyway, my mum now passed away soon after I finished my law degree, in the January of the year after. And we were really close. These are the days of not WhatsApp. WhatsApp did not exist. These were the days of Yahoo Messenger. So you'll know when someone's on Yahoo, or say online. So I now saw that anytime I was online, I'll see that she was on there, but then she disappeared. So offline immediately. And I'll see that she's online again another time, then she's gone. So I told like a mutual friend, I don't know what this person is doing. I don't like what she's doing. So everyone knows my outspoken as well. I don't like what she's doing. I've lost my mom, or just to say, sorry to hear or what have you is fine enough. Then she told that mutual friend, actually she was avoiding me because she didn't know what to say. It's a touchy situation, she doesn't know what to do and all the rest of it. But my point is, someone I thought that we're close, we're doing things, we're growing together and all the rest of it, before you know it, when something bad happened to me, they're gone. So putting if there were like life decisions for me to make, maybe I would have listened to her. Maybe it was her opinion may have counted, but in the reality of it is, when it's now when the tough gets going, when the tough gets going, when the going gets tough, some people are gone. The people that they really show themselves that, I was like a stopgap in your life. I wasn't a forever person in your life. So all this BFF that you think there is, because probably we would have classed ourselves as BFF, we're always together. They don't exist. It's the real people. You would know them when something bad happens. So if something bad happens, will they be there? Will they really be there? And you've got to now think to yourself, you know what? I need to have people in my life that are going to be there, and people that are going to, like you said, be stakeholders. They're going to, if things go bad, they're going to pick me up, they're going to help me and all the rest of it, and vice versa, because it's not a one-way traffic. So I think hinging on the opinions of the people that are just your peers and your friends, and that they're not a stakeholder, is not the way to go.
All right, so you've heard it all. We pray that God's grace will be multiplied upon you. We're going to pray for you. Maybe you're out there, maybe you've made a decision based on wrong counsel, or maybe what you thought was a great counsel at that time. You're learning more now, and you're discovering that, oh, you know what, I'm probably listening to the wrong people, or my priorities are not in the right place. We just want to pray that God will come through for you. He will redeem you. He'll give you grace to, align yourself with his plans and purposes for you, and settle all that concerns you. In Jesus' name, amen. Please remember to join us tomorrow morning. I will be live on the Anzam Prevail. Tomorrow we are dealing with fulfilling destiny. So get yourself ready, and we trust that it will be a very, very powerful and glorious time. God will honor you and honor all that concerns you. It's always a joy for us. We'll be back again on the Talk with the Missus platform in 2 weeks' time. But for this evening, enjoy your evening, and we want to say bye.
Good night. Have a great evening.